what's cool about growing as a couple. You learn to do so many things throughout your life that when you look back, you'll be handing these pressure canner cookers down to your son someday, and they'll take those memories with them.
Yeah, we'll see how all that goes. One of our neighbors, he used to can a whole bunch, and he goes, I'm not going to be canning anymore. If you'll use the cans, can I bring you down some jars? And I was like,
yeah,
my wife and I were like thinking, like maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 boxes. He brought a whole the whole trunk of his Cadillac was full. There was like 20 something boxes of quart and pint jars. So
did you need a bigger garden?
Did you use Kyle Daly knives to cut up these vegetables and all that with as you were?
Yep.
Very good.
She pretty much exclusively uses it. We've got a couple of our other knife maker friends. I've got a Dan Eastland, Midtech, and then one of the Joy of Cooking, Dan Eastland and Ethan Becker collaboration company thing. And then I've got a Jess Hoffman paring knife because I don't like making paring knives, and
Jess is the king of paring knives.
He makes some good ones.
3, 2, 1, 0.
You're listening to the Knives Templars.
I got a piece off of the wagon that Sam Houston used to take JFK to the moon.
Pinto sauce. I like that. Pinto sauce.
Pinto sauce. You're tuned in to the Knives Templars podcast. Featuring Jason Fry.
Yeah, I've been just been doing what we do.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Eric T.R.E. Rivers.
Holy crap, I built something.
Mark Vasallo.
There would be a lot of places I would launch myself to.
Chip Carlisle. We've had a raccoon come through the screen door down in the family room.
I was a mean kid.
And Josh Ferrand. And now, broadcasting across planet Earth, it is the Knives Templars, coming to you live from PORKHouse Studios right here in Hartselle, Alabama, and scattered across the country. We are on demand, and it's time to sit back and enjoy another show of the KnivesTemplars.com.
Welcome. I tell you what, Kyle, before the next podcast, I'm going to take something you've said on the air, and we'll get it in here. We'll actually introduce you in the opening credits. I do believe you're going to stay. You keep showing up, so there you go.
That's a pretty good promotion there, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And let's see. Is everybody downloading tonight? It looks like we are. Good deal. Hey, we've also got Jason Fry on with us tonight. You heard him at the beginning, and coming in, he is Rocket Man. The story about Josh being found being contacted by Forged in Fire while he was strapped to the side of a rocket. And of course, we launched tonight, and he came in on the side of the rocket, and he's here. Welcome, Josh. How are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
Man, I'm so tickled to see you here. I'm doing great.
Fantastic. I've got some crazy sound issues going on, so I'm going to try to figure that out. You guys do your thing.
Well, you just do. All right. Well, we'll just let you sound away. Hey guys. We got some things to talk about tonight. It's been a while. Changes in my life. I've got it's hot as heck. Eric Rivers about died on us this week. We want to talk a little bit about shop safety, certainly working in the heat. And, not only did I realize, being a full-time knife maker for the last week, how much I respect Kyle now, but also I'm a professional caner. I discovered that today, and I found that's a dying art. Not a lot of people do caning anymore. And I went from, apprentice Josh to master caner in a couple hours. I don't know if I want to do it again, but hey guys, welcome to the Knives Templars. We're back here for episode 80 something. We're racing to 100, and we are one of the two best podcasts out there. Kyle, you better be saying y'all are one of the two best podcasts out there. I'll listen tomorrow when I'm in the shop.
Dan does the intros.
Okay. Well, we'll give you that then. Well, we're one of the top two out there, and we are so glad you're here. So as we get started, we'll just jump right in. Jason, how's the new house working out, and your Elon internet and all that other stuff?
Yeah, rocking right along. So no major developments this period. I did figure out where I'm going to put my shops.
Excellent.
We have started drawing, not scribbling anyway, kind of honing in on some plans there. But again, my goal is probably to have that done by Christmas so that I can have some knives for Blade, Texas in the spring. That's about all I'm shooting for. Work is crazy. I left at 4 today because I might as well have left at 4 because I could have stayed till 7 and still not finished anything. So you might as well pull out, right? So you can't touch the giant mountain. You can only take one spoonful at a time. So
yes. But I did see that you went to Trump Burger, and
I did. I went to Trump Burger down in Belleville, Texas. The burger was huge.
What hat? What hat were you wearing?
I wore my red hat that looks just like a MAGA hat, except it says "Make Texas a Country Again." I wanted people in Trump Burger to be like, "Oh, I recognize that." Oh, wait a minute, that was what I was looking for, to be the little bit weird guy in a place that.
Did anybody notice the hat besides me?
A few did. I got a couple of the crazy looks I was expecting. It was great.
Excellent. I'm so tickled to hear that. Yeah, I saw you went to a Houston Astros game with the family, so you've just become quite the...
Yeah, so I have had all of my family in towns. Y'all know, listeners know, I've got big boys out of town and twins here at the house, and the big boys came to town in the last 2 weeks, and my in-laws and my parents all came, so we've had a house full of fun and guests. So we've been trying to do a little bit of the touristy stuff in our new area. Went to Bluebell Ice Cream. Yep, went at least 4 times. I've been 3 or 4 times between all those different groups of people.
Good.
The cool thing about that is they'll sell you a cup of ice cream for $1.
Wow.
So like, even if you weren't going there as a tourist, you just might swing by and get some ice cream or something.
I would do that. Do that.
Got a couple dozen flavors there at the creamery, so that's fun.
For sure.
Yeah, just staying busy. I had to kick my son's girlfriend out of my podcast room that she's using as a bedroom. I mean, it clearly trumps that.
By all means.
Oh yeah, everybody's playing Fortnite in the room next to me. So if y'all hear "Rah!" in the background, that's what it is. They're all just killing each other on the internet. So.
Well, that's fine. Well, I'm not going to wait till last, guys. How do I look? I went and got all fancied up today. Here, let me take the headphones off. I'll do that. So yeah,
suave and debonair and trimmed and
trimmed beard.
I don't look like Mountain Man anymore. I actually went and got my beard professionally trimmed today, just by my barber, and got my hair the half on the sides with the executive taper up the side and went over and man, I was like, whoa, I hadn't seen that guy for a while because I've looked like Woolly Booger for some time. But yeah, so I start a new job on Monday. I was asking everybody for prayers last time, and everything is wonderful. Great company I used to work for, but I've got a new opportunity, and I start that on Monday. And in addition, for the last couple of weeks, I've been a full-time bladesmith. And like I said, I don't know if I recorded that at the beginning of this or not. If it's not, then I'll say it again. I have all the respect in the world for Kyle Daly or anybody else, Eric Rivers, when he was doing it, because getting up and going in and making blades, how do your hands put up with it, man? My cuticles and everything are just, destroyed. But I've put out a ton of knives, made really good money. But I also realize that that is extremely hard work. And I think there's a big difference in saying, I sell knives and I have a business, and I sell knives and make knives for a living as a business. It takes a lot of discipline I've seen. And that's just me sampling it, because I wouldn't even say I've sold knives for a living in the last few weeks. I just had time to, and I realized it takes a lot of respect. I also have some exciting news for you guys. And some of you, I didn't expect you to be on here yet, but we have a silent investor that has come in. Well, he's silent right now. Do you want to speak up?
Yeah, I can. So
there you go. You go. That's all I need.
So Chip and I have a handshake deal to
handshake. There's emails, or text messages,
online handshakes. To split the lucrative revenue of this enterprise, which basically means we're splitting the bills.
What are you gonna buy with your money? What are you gonna buy with your money?
I'm gonna buy Kyle Daly a hamburger.
Popsicle.
But you do realize our policy is we do not allow anybody. Don't turn in any receipts.
We have the no receipts policy.
Yeah,
that's some OG Knife Templars right there. It's old stuff.
So to give everybody the quick lowdown, I'll let you jump back in. So what I wanted to do is make sure that we've been on the air since for going on 4 years now, and it's time to pay the bills again and starting a new job and everything. And also realizing that some of you guys, you come on here and you put in all the time in the world to do this, that I wanted to make sure there's continuity and there's some succession planning in what we do. And not that this is necessarily going to be the Joe Rogan podcast, but it's a nice voice and it's a nice way to market not only our brands but also speak for the vendors that are out there that support our industry and our hobbies and everything else so nicely. So if I was to suddenly, because I am at stroke and heart attack age, suddenly go kaput for any reason, force majeure, act of God, I wanted to make sure there's some continuity there. That being said, Jason has invested into 49% of the company. We didn't even talk about percentage. I just called it 49%.
Yeah, you pretty much made that up, but it's all good.
I did make it up, but officially it's a gentleman's deal, and my wife has all the information that anything happens to me that Jason will take over the podcast, and I'm very appreciative to him with the amount of time that he's put in it for the last couple of years that he is able to do that. With that being said, everybody else is grandfathered into this, and he will then. This is still we're still making up rules on the fly. So Jason, you're 49%, so you're 50%. But with that being said, oh crap, I just recorded that.
It's written down now, buddy. It's on the internet. It must be true.
My gosh, all for one, one for all, and half of nothing is still nothing. But you would then choose how to, create that succession plan down the road or shut it down or whatever you want to do. That it'd be yours at that point.
Well, I sure for a lot of reasons, but also this one, hope you don't die because.
Well, thank you.
I've got just a couple irons in the fire.
Yeah,
hey, look at there, a knife making reference.
So how that comes out is I still will maintain the Riverside studio. I still will do all of the editing and all that stuff, and uploading and managing that, the marketing, taking care of the website and all of that. And Jason is a succession plan, and some of that I will, Jason, give you access to some of those other things. So if I'm not here,
we'll keep working on it.
So yeah, something's going to develop over time. I got to come up with a maker's mark or a professional stamp for the Master Templar, and we will, so that people that are Knives Templars can start putting their marks in their blades.
There was a guy one time that got a little crossways with a couple of organizations, and so he started his own.
Yeah.
Master Smith Club. I won't call him out by name. Some of you will know who I'm talking about.
I think you pointed him out to me.
I think I did. Show. He walked right by us at Blade Show. But for the sake of the internet, we'll maintain his anonymity.
By all means, and that is just fine.
So if we want to have a Knives Templars extra Smith, let's make up something crazy. There already is a Master Smith in the world. Awesome Smith. We'll come up with something.
We will. So welcome and thank you guys for that. Jason is a host and owner of the Knives Templars podcast. It's nice to see where we've grown. And we're also going to, after talking with Kyle pre-show, we're going to be looking at some opportunities moving forward to generate a little revenue out of this to not only pay for the podcast, but just see where it can take us. Kyle had mentioned that some of the things that they pay for through their podcast, and those are great ideas. Thank you for sharing that, Kyle.
And Kyle's getting a promotion where he gets into the intro where I talk about Sam Houston and all this craziness.
Yeah. Oh, yes. He
or whatever.
He's going to get into the
fishing. We're fishing for a sound bite. So if you hear something crazy that Kyle says tonight, chances are
mark that.
Yeah, next week.
Mark it for sure. So I can't wait. I've got to jump into this. I can't wait to talk to Josh tonight. Hey, Josh, how's your audio now? You doing good?
Yeah, it's good. You guys don't sound like robots anymore, so I can.
You're dialed in perfectly. You sound great tonight. But Eric, you look like you've hydrated and looked back. We're going to talk about that tonight, so don't get into it too deep tonight because that's a subject tonight. You are a subject. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
So if you guys want to know why he's feeling good, you'll have to wait and find out. So
it's the reason I'm on the podcast tonight is to find out.
Did you buy Nisha a steak or get her some roses or anything?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good. She took care of you. She took care of you. And you've been making a lot. Or you still taking it easy a little bit?
Taking it easy, and we'll get more into that. But yeah, I'm taking it easy. But tomorrow we'll be off taking it easy because I got to install a vent fan to the top of my shop.
Very good, very good.
It seems like a good idea.
And that's a hint, everybody. So that's a hint. Josh, how's the cattle doing?
Very cowy. Yeah, they are very consistently cowy. They've been doing good though. They've been drinking a lot of water. With the heat that we've had, it's amazing how much water these animals go through. I'm not super excited to see our water bill, mainly because we're forgetful and forget to turn off our hose whenever we're filling water troughs, and so we've watered our pasture a few times and continually refilled our water troughs this past 2 weeks. It's been crazy.
Well, you can go ahead.
I saw a hack. You can buy the gas nozzles, and they work for water too. And some guys will screw those on, and they'll drill a hole, and then once it gets to the top, it kicks it off.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We also thought about doing. They have floats, toilet bowl floats. Pretty much, you can put in the troughs to autofill and keep them.
Yep,
the problem is one of our cows has horns and the trough is not anchored, and she likes to rub her horns on everything. And so we'll set the trough down and she'll move it across the pasture. And so whatever we put in there is probably going to get destroyed. She's killed probably about 4 different water troughs just by pushing on them and leaning on them and stuff. And so eventually we're going to build a surround around the water trough. But she's even the barn that we have next to our pasture, she'll get her horns in there and rip the wood boards off the side of the barn.
Huh.
So she's rough. She's super gentle with us, but man, if it's solid, she's all over it.
Have you thought about removing her horns occasionally and turning those into ale cups and making a little money on the side there?
We initially as a calf, you want to do it when they're younger. You can do it when they're older, but it's pretty rough. So we were too slow at responding to the development of the horns luckily she does pretty good around people with the horns, but it's definitely not something we would prefer to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, at this point it'd be a little rough to take them off.
I understand. You can put tennis balls on the ends of them.
There you go.
Kyle, what's going on in the world of Kyle Daly?
Did a little bit of sharpening today. Had a customer come by. She's been a good sharpening customer. Gives out a bunch of my business cards and stuff. So did some of that, and then I need to get a handful of knives profiled and heat treated for the Midwest Knife Makers Guild hammer-in that's coming up in August. So going to be talking about some of the stainless steel heat treating and the carbide straightening hammer and the water cooled quench plates and stuff like that. And need a couple of straight or warped blades to hammer on for that. So going to make up a couple, and I'm sure I'll have a few warps to figure out.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you.
And then still been doing some of the engineering stuff. One of the things that's kind of cool. So Power Stop, the company that I work for, they own the Callahan Auto trademark from Tommy Boy, and they
awesome.
they have a whole Callahan Auto brake parts line.
That's awesome.
And you can buy those at Walmart and Amazon. And we went to the Brickyard 400 in Indianapolis, and I saw a handful of people wearing the shirts, and mentioned it to our kind of head manager guy, and he goes, "How many of you guys have shirts?" And all of us said none of us, besides one guy who is like the head of is the project manager for a lot of the Callahan Auto parts. He had a bunch of shirts and hats and stuff. So he got all of our sizes and stuff. So I may have a Callahan Auto shirt and t-shirt here soon. So
heck yeah.
They're buying
That's
a whole
awesome.
bunch. They're buying a whole bunch of merch because it's the 30th anniversary for the Tommy Boy movie, and Sandusky, Ohio, where a lot of the movie was filmed, that they're having a Tommy Boy festival, and Callahan Auto is going to be the premier sponsor for that show, and they're going to have a big table and everything to promote the brake parts and stuff.
Man, that is cool. I was just checking out the calibration of the rotary thing the other day.
The rotary thing.
Yeah, y'all remember that scene where he's fighting with the rolling crane or chain hoist?
Yep.
And they look at him where he's like, "I'm checking out the calibration of the rotary." You can't say retarded anymore. You could 30 years ago, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can officially say that now, though, that I've got a new job. But I didn't. I just said I could.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been kind of cool. That job's been a real blessing over the summer months. The summer months are usually always quite a bit lower for sales and stuff. Everybody's out traveling and doing things, and that's taken quite a bit of pressure off. And worked on a couple of small little things for some new products and stuff. So been a little quiet on the social media front, but gonna probably or hopefully be doing some more here in the next few weeks.
I think I need to step up my social media presence.
You're pretty present on social media, I think.
I figured
very, very present.
Am I annoyingly present?
Depends. Is it working or not?
I'm getting a lot of hits, a lot of visits. Trust me.
You and these AI clips.
What's that?
You and all these AI clips crack me up. I'm like you'll just be like in the middle of the woods, on the back of a horse.
Horse? No, I ride a moose, man. I ride a moose. Pay attention. It's a moose, a bull moose. Because if you don't say bull moose, you get some wonky looking moose with half an antler.
Evidently, you are the size of a moose, because whenever you were feeding that moose, it was like up to your shoulders.
People did say that was the smallest moose they'd ever seen. I'm like, well, you got to start somewhere. So,
you should do one with moose and squirrel.
Hey,
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
You got me joking. You know what? There may be something in the near future, so I will have to come up with that. Maybe I'll even have to do some R2D2 stuff in there to what do you call it? Mess with you. There we go. Hey, Jason, one of our new sponsors, and I think that the president of the Knife Guild did approve it, about doing a spot for them on each one of our episodes to promote the wonderfulness of the Knife Guild. So did you want to read from that script tonight?
Yeah, sure. So most of us, actually, a lot of us, 4 of us out of the number, are members of the Knife Makers Guild, and I'm the president of that organization. Chip, and it has been fun for me watching Chip be super fired up about the guild. Right, I've watched him all the way from, hey, what do you think of this knife? We've told that story a lot of times, but all the way to making an excellent knife and being proud to be part of our organization. So this podcast already
extremely proud. Extremely proud.
Oh, sorry, I forgot my adjectives.
There you go.
So yeah, I'm happy to be able to talk about the guild. Happy to carry that sponsor label with the podcast. I think I can do that unilaterally as the president. Heck, I don't know. I'm going to do it. We'll see what happens.
Can we get another voting member to second that?
I second it.
There you go, Kyle. Thank you, sir.
We don't have another voting member, so Fry, can you?
Roberts doesn't have a third, right? It's just the first and second, and they put it to a vote.
Okay, so we're good. We're good.
I don't follow those rules anyway.
Good deal. But yeah, guys, we just want you to know that we are going to start sponsoring or sponsor us, sponsor them. We sponsor each other on this podcast. The Knife Makers Guild is a great organization out there. I've been interested in it for the last couple of years. We saw Otis here get in as a probationary members, meeting Jason that same year, and really starting to develop my my love of what they do to promote excellence in craftsmanship as makers that are also business makers as well. So you need to go out and check out their website at
KnifeMakersGuild.com.
There you go. And look for an opportunity to get involved with the guild. You can find through the directory, you can find local members that you can communicate with, find out what it takes to get into the guild, go to the website, see all of the bylaws and the applications and everything there, and then show up at one of our shows, typically a blade show, and get your signatures, get your knives proofed, shake like a leaf in the wind while they're doing it. And if you do well enough, you'll walk away a probationary member and maybe go in as a voting member the next year. And if not, you'll walk away still with some really good friends with some advice on what you need to take yours.
And I know everybody in the world goes to the internet to look for bylaws. Man, I mean, I know that's a hot commodity. So I will tell you also, though, that we have member profiles on our website. So if you're a Knife Makers Guild member, you can have your ugly mug put up there, maybe a pretty one if you have it. So pictures of your knives, link to your website. So that website is more than just a formality. It's a tool that we have to share one another's business and just spend time with meeting other people.
So guys, go out and check out knifemakersguild.com and look to add some credentials to your knife brand. Look to improve yourself and put yourself along the same lines as 300 other people or so in the world. And it's a great opportunity. There's other groups out there. I'm also a member of ABS, Alabama Forge Council, the Alabama Custom Knife Makers Guild as well. So look for these opportunities, but here we're pushing the guild, the Knife Makers Guild. And it's started in
1972 was the first year in Kansas City. All of that, if you're interested in the history, there have been books published literally over the years, but it had been since about 1987 or 8 since there was a guild directory published in book form. But we did it this year. So if you're interested in a paper directory, if you're an old time knife collector, you'll be like, "Whoa, a guild directory!" It'll mean something to you because this used to be the best thing in the industry, and we let it go for a while, but we brought it back. So those are available on Amazon. We'll have them at shows and stuff too.
Yep, and wonderful
Knife
female
Makers Guild directory.
Wonderful female and male members around the world.
Yep, we talk a little bit about the few ladies that hang out with us.
And the more
we talk
the better.
about our friends from other countries. So we we started in the United States,
rephrase
but
that.
we've got
A few ladies that hang out with us. Now, chill that out. We were talking about the professional female knife makers that belong to
exceptionally,
our group.
ridiculously
There
awesome
you
knife
go.
makers who have pursued their guild membership. No, we really are glad to have folks like Kelly Vela, Veronique Laurent, Veronica Laurent.
And also say it's become an international guild because there were people that arrived from Poland, Africa, other parts of Europe this year. Not only as
got a good contingent of South Africans, a good contingent of Italians. So we got folks from all over.
So check out the knifemakersguild.com. And while you're at it, let me tell you about my friend Diz over at tr-maker.com. It's 1980. He's been offering high quality and fast service from Istanbul. He makes some of the best knife making tools out there. Matter of fact, I saw him. He and I chatted the other day, and he was boxing up handle drill guides for making sure you got perfectly spaced and wonderful holes going into those that expensive material that you use to make handles out of. Nobody wants to waste a good stabilized block of wood. And also is coming out with beauty. He's got a beautiful grinder that people are starting to key into, specifically over in Europe. I think there's some over here in the States, but a wonderfully engineered machine. And above all else, he's just one of the great guys out there in our industry that constantly innovates and is always just a phone call away. In this particular case, he's an internet phone call away, so you're not paying a lot of money, but he is always available over in Istanbul. By the way, if you order from him, you'll get your package in 3 to 4 days from Istanbul because he uses DHL because he wants to make sure he's got good service and you get it here on time. So enough about that, but go use some TR Maker. I've used him on a couple of my recent knives.
Hey, is it time to hear the story, the most epic, interesting story of the week?
Most definitely.
Of the fortnight.
Most
definitely. We do actually every 2 weeks. Our friend Eric is with us. Our friend Eric was trying to not be with us for a minute there. Tell us what's up, buddy. You got the floor.
So, of course, every weekend, well, almost every weekend, I do my live stream where I take a piece of steel and I forge it into something, whether it be a knife or a steak flipper or any of those things. And this last weekend was definitely the sketchiest one out of all of them. In Texas, of course, it's super hot. It is what it is. Texas is hot. And I typically preach the whole be careful whenever you're forging in Texas heat or heat in general. Make sure you hydrate, make sure you do all the right things so that you don't hurt yourself. And of course, I did all of the opposites of all of that. So in my shop, I have 2 forges. I have a forge that's smaller, that contains the heat really well. It's only a 1 burner, and a lot of the smaller projects that I work on, it's perfect for it. And then I have my bigger forge that shoots the heat out the front of it, like it's trying to heat the whole entire space. It's a bigger, multiple burner, large forge. And my nephew is getting into blacksmithing, and I donated my small forge to him so that he can get into this hobby and start trying to make some cool stuff and things like that. He's done the whole process of working with knife blanks and stuff like that, putting handles on things. He's wanting to get into heat treating and actually making his own knives and forging and smithing. But so I gave him a small forge, and then I was like, hey, since y'all are here, why don't y'all hang out and watch? Well, for one, I have the small forge to forge in the shop, and then I have my fans set up to circulate the air from my small shop. I have the door open. It pulls cool air in, cool 103-degree air in. And then I have other fans that pump it out my big opening, it on my big double door opening. Well, my nephews and my brother were sitting in that opening, and so none of the air was escaping. And I was using my big forge, and on top of that, my phone was overheating. So I put my fan that typically pumps the air into the shop pointed at my phone and not pumping the air out of anything. So what I did was I created an oven, a 130-degree oven, uh, and I forged in that for an hour and a half. And I was I got this far into an integral bolster full tang knife out of a 5160 round bar.
Can I just interrupt to say, when I watched that video, you were not making your knife as fluid as you normally do. You were struggling with that knife, and I don't know if you realized it or not, but knowing how well you forge knives, almost to finish, I was like, this knife is wonky looking for Eric, and I still didn't know nothing was wrong with you.
And of course, it needs about another 20 minutes worth of work to actually finish. It's just been smashed and preformed for the most part.
But you were struggling with that knife. Yeah,
I was struggling, and about 30 minutes before all the stuff happened, I could already feel it kind of going downhill. And to get the fan on me, I had a wet towel around my shoulders and all that stuff, and I could feel that my body wasn't getting the heat out. So two things: before you're going to go and do any type of hardcore workout or something like that, you need to make sure you eat. You need to make sure you hydrate. I was hydrated for the most part, but I hadn't eaten anything since like 8 o'clock the day before. And if you don't have food in your body to burn as fuel, your body burns your body as fuel, and your internal core gets way hotter whenever you are burning your own fat, your own calories, all of that stuff, as opposed to burning food. So I didn't eat anything. I was only burning my own body. So my body was naturally running hot. And then I made the decision at the hour and a half mark to come inside to the nice, cool AC. And my body said, no, you're not supposed to do that. You're cooling down too fast. So I walked inside and told my wife, I had my mic on. I had a bandana so I keep the sweat out of my face. And I had my mic for the live stream on my bandana. I walk inside and I say, hey, I think I might need to pause this. And my wife goes, yeah, probably. And then about 2 seconds after that, you hear me go, like mumble, like who, what, where, why, or something like that. And then collapse, hit the floor, smack. And then you hear her, screaming my name, Eric, 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 Dave, Dave, Eric. And then I come to, not knowing that any of the collapsing had happened. I'm looking at her like, what? And I say that out loud. I say, what? Like I had purposely laid on the floor.
That's what you sounded like, by the way. I was just giving everybody a clip.
Yeah, it was
making wine.
Like I didn't know that I had collapsed, so I thought that I had laid down, because there had been times whenever I was getting a little warm and I'd lay down on my tile floor, pull down or whatever, and no, I looked up and she's just like saying that, and I'm thinking, man, just chill. I'll just lay down for a second. She said, nope, you collapsed. You passed out. And I was like, huh? It sat up just a little bit and threw up.
That was my next question, because I heard that on the tape and I was wondering, was that your bowels or did you throw up? So I'm glad it wasn't your bowels.
Yeah, not the bowels. And I threw up and it was all water, just clear.
I can imagine.
And And then I was like, yeah, it's time to pause. And she goes, you think? And walked out there. The next thing that people see is her coming into view and, turning off the live stream.
She had that
But
look. She had that look.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I get into the shower and lay down in there, and we cool me down gradually. You start with hot water, work down to cooler water for about 45 minutes. Um, and then made sure that all of the signs of heat stroke did not happen to me. Make sure I didn't have any numb limbs or anything like that, or numbness. Like
You were
it,
numb. You were numb nuts, man.
believe it, but I still felt those. Um, so hot they were about at my knees.
I can imagine.
But it was.
Excuse me. Fry Daddy, you own half of this. Was that okay, or do we need to cut that out later?
Emily's not here. I mean, we're all right.
Right.
So it was definitely one of those things where, I in my head I was like, well, I'm just going to knock this out. It's not going to be a big deal. It's not a huge knife. But as I'm sitting there in the shower, getting ready to throw up for the sixth, seventh, and eighth time, um, I was like, just thinking through snowball that happened that made this thing uh, happen. That made it, made me getting this sick happen. And uh, it was just thinking through. Typically, I focus more on airflow. I focus on making sure I eat, making sure that I got fluids. I will, focus on potassium and things like that. Like I have those things focused because I know it's going to get hot in the shop. But what I let happen was I was so focused on the entertaining aspect of it because I had my nephews and my brother and the focusing on the live stream and all that stuff that I focused more on the entertaining side of it and not what was good for my health. And I made a lot of small bad decisions that led to me uh, collapsing from heat exhaustion. And I'm lucky that it happened in front of my wife and that she was able to uh, have me come to, because if you are laying on your back and you throw up, you can choke. And um, luckily, I didn't pass out in my shop because I had both of my anvils pulled towards the center of my shop because I have one anvil set up to do integrals and another anvil set up for the one that I used with my sponsorship with Texas Fair Supply and all that stuff, the J. Nielsen anvil. Um, and I had both of them set up. If I would have collapsed between them, I could have landed on one of the horns of the anvils, smacked my head on that, smacked my head on several other sharp objects in my shop. I mean, and if I was out there by myself, uh, nobody would have even known that I had passed out other than the people watching me on the live stream.
We would have had some of us had Nisha's number. So
yeah. So it was just, again, focusing more on the entertaining side of it than this. But I'll tell you, the thing that sucks about this is it has taken, and I still have an issue right now, but I'm going to try and just overcome it tomorrow and the next day. But if I get, really, really, really warm, I feel like I'm going to throw up. And it's my body's still not 100%. For the first like 3 days, I made the idiot decision like I always do every time I hurt myself, and I went straight back to work the next day. I should have taken like a couple of days off because my body was not okay. And what did I do? I worked a 12-hour day, throwing cases of soda the whole entire day and walked 19,000 steps. And then went straight into the next day, worked 10 hours and walked 17,000 steps, throwing cases the entire day, and I did that until today. Today was a 11-hour day, and it was just doing that. I walked. What was that? It's so about 60 miles in the last 5 days,
Wow.
and lifted stuff the entire time, getting down on my, crouching, lifting, doing all that stuff. And I should not have done any of that. I should have just taken a few days off because it was, I haven't been able to let my body recoup. And we're trying to figure out what all I need to do right now. Because I'm telling you right now, if I go out to my shop, my whole body, I lose like half my strength and I want to throw up.
Oh,
And
man.
it's only like, it's probably about 105 in my shop right now. So whenever I start forging, it's gonna be crazy. But
Have you thought about going to Lowe's or Home Depot and getting one of those cooling rags that you can throw some ice in, or evaporative cooling with some, just throw something wetter in it? Okay, good.
Yeah, I have one now, and I've got stuff set up right now for me to be able to make sure that I'm good fluids wise and all that stuff for the next few days.
Yeah, record your show earlier in the morning or something if you're able to as well. If that's, I don't know if that helps or not in Texas, but
it kind of does, kind of doesn't. I mean, whenever I leave for work at 4 a.m., it's already 85 degrees outside. And you walk outside and you're like, oh, this is ridiculous. And it's nighttime. And it is, one of the other things is it hasn't been windy at all. Like we've barely had any breezes or anything. And that day it was just stale air. There was almost no wind blowing. And
well, if you get some evaporative cooling from the fan that you're going to install, that'll make a big difference, keeping you a good container of cold water out there and just keep rehydrating.
Yes.
And keeping some salts in your body too. But the thing is that it's a wake up call for a lot of people, because even I was out in the shop today, and I'm not equating to this, but my wife's been telling me all week to stay out of the shop, and I've got 2 barn fans going out there. And today it got so extremely hot, I just, sat down in the chair in front of a fan and poured some water over myself and just let it evaporate off just to cool me down. And I think you have to worry about those things. But you and I both talked today. I think you and I, and probably Jason too, definitely have HVAC in our shops. It's just the AC only runs in winter and the heating only runs in summer because it's natural HVAC. I was joking with Eric. I said, you remember that one where you were having to put hot steel on your anvil to heat it up so you didn't heat sink your knives you were trying to forge? Well, it's not that time of year.
I did a video one time where I pretended to forge with a magnifying glass. It's so hot out here, I can just forge with the power of the sun.
And that takes me to our next sponsor, and that is Even Heat Kilns. You can find it at evenheat-kiln.com. They are the maker's choice. Their kilns are equipped with advanced features and technologies to deliver precise temperature controls, and they are reliable, consistent, and you get great results every time. Get your next Even Heat at Pop's Knife Supplies. Give the folks at Pop's a call, and they'll help you pick out the one that's just right for you. Even Heat. Kilns-kilns.com. There you go. But
you can use it Even Heat, or you can just go out into a shop in Texas.
You could certainly temper in your shop, right? So
you could heat treat carbon steel in your mailbox.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
You can forge right out of your mailbox. But the things to take away from this, Eric, is number one, we are very blessed and happy and fortunate that you're okay, because you told us after the fact, and all of us ran to the video and we went to the end of it and listened to that, and those were some very scary moments. And to you listening to your wife on that video call your name over and over and over, just trying to get you to come around. And hearing your body react to that situation, It was a very serious circumstance, and we can joke about it now because we lift ourselves up in spirit after such an event. But heat can kill, and we're very fortunate you didn't suffer a heat stroke. So, but I do want to say one thing: that cute little man bun that you're wearing these days, if you'd fell backwards, you'd have been just fine. You'd have just landed on it like a little puff, little puff. You'd have been fine, just laying there. Mr. Yeah, I'm waiting for you to start making Japanese swords, man. You're starting to look more and more like the real Last Samurai every day. You're giving Neil Kamimura a run for his money.
There you go.
So, what is your heritage? Do you have any? Are you Indian, or do you have any American Indian, or do you have any? What was I going to say?
So a little bit of
Italian, or what?
A little bit of Native American, some Spanish. But mostly I am Welsh, Dutch, Danish.
Oh, you're a mutt too, like the rest of us. Well, I was going to say you've kind of got. You could have been in The Last Samurai. You got that look going on these days, brother. You got it going on. Looks good on you too. Looks good on you. I'm jealous.
So one thing I wanted to touch on before we switch again, we've all kind of learned in hard and stupid ways about hydration and some of these things. But there's something Eric said that stood out to me, because the time I got the sickest from heat, it was a common circumstance. And that's when you're doing stuff in front of people, you don't pay attention to yourself, right? The closest I ever came to a scenario like that was at a demonstration in front of a knife store. And same deal. I didn't fall over, but I kind of put my hands on my anvil and just kind of leaned over. Head started swirling, and I'm like, "This is not how this is supposed to be." And so I went and sat down inside for a little bit. But when you're out of your element, when you're not at your space, when you're working in front of people, I mean, I know I need to retract probably making a little bit of fun of the Forge and Fire guys that get hot on the show.
Right.
I do that because we work in the heat all the time, and some of those guys are from Minnesota or something. They're not used to it. But there is that common thing about when you're out of your element, when you're doing something unusual, you forget to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to bring that up just as a point. Don't, instead of thinking, "Oh, I got this," don't. You really don't. That I've got this voice in the back of your head is usually wrong.
Yeah. Or because I'm trying to show somebody something, or I'm trying to complete this thing that we started, that I need to push myself through it because I need to finish the experience and finish the thing, because people are watching, and people you're trying to again complete their experience and what y'all are doing together, and you sacrifice stuff. And I should have stopped 20 minutes before I got to that point, but because I was like, man, if I just push a little bit longer.
And that's the thing about the show too, is you're like, well, I could quit, but then I sure won't win 10 grand, right? So there's all these external factors making you make dumb choices.
You kept saying, "I'm hot. I'm getting hot," and walking off camera for a minute. And I don't know if you were drinking or what you were doing, but it was drinking, fluids. But I don't, it was obvious you were going downhill. So we are very glad and fortunate you were there. And I know that you'll probably pick up a few thousand subscribers, because there's that element of the people out there that just love to see catastrophes. You may want to title your live streams, "See if Eric passes out this time."
Yeah.
Watch Eric. Yeah. Will Eric do the worm in the floor? So no, we're glad you're okay, and keep doing what you're doing anyway. Just get your fan installed.
Yep, that's going to be the big thing. I've got it. It's one of the Gable fans,
right?
And it has the automatic levers, and it's got temperature controls and all that stuff. So hopefully it pulls the heat out of part of my shop. We'll find out tomorrow once I install it.
Do you know what a swamp cooler is?
Yeah, only reason why I won't use those is I don't want all that surface rust all over all of
10-4.
them.
Everything would rust.
I didn't even think about that. That was an easy one. Now I feel stupid. I'm not even going to edit that out though because I want people to know the real me. The guy with a bunch of stupid ideas. This is not a stupid idea, though, guys. If you want some really good deals on knife supplies, you need to go out and visit the guys at Pop Knife Supplies. They're at popknifesupplies.com. You know, they've been around for 40 years, and Alan, Joey, and Dirk do a wonderful job over there bringing new products to market all the time and always having stuff in stock for you and getting there and charging you just real-time shipping costs. So if you want some really good knife supplies, go out and visit the guys at Pop's Knife Supplies. And again, popsknifesupplies.com. So, guys, what else is on the ticket this week? I will tell you, I don't have the money for it right now, which is a story of my life these days moving forward. Meaning, I'm fine. I'm just saying I don't have that disposable cash like I did. I need to start selling some knives so I can go out and buy a sanding disc. And get me a motor and a variable speed drive and put on it because I'm actually enjoying making chef's knives, Kyle. And I'll probably start picking your brain at some point because they're actually kind of fun and I don't have to make a sheath with them. I just throw them in a nylon case and they're done. And they're fairly easy to make. When I say easy to make, there's a heck of a lot of sanding. And you're dealing with really thin steel and the techniques to go, it's not just like making any other knife. So when I say they're fairly easy to make, I may have to pull that back because one of the reasons I'm looking for a disc is because just simply pulling it across a 2-inch belt, because not everybody's got 3-inch belts these times, it creates a ton of sanding to have to do to get that knife clean and true. And certainly a sanding disc would make that a lot easier to be able to bring that knife off of the disc and have it much more consistent across the surface because you're having to sand so much more area. Something that may take me 20 minutes to sand the side. On now, I'll spend an hour per side on an 8-inch long blade, a 12-inch knife, 8-inch long blade. It's just on and on and on and on. But
wait till you step up to stainless.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm not quite there yet. What are you showing us, Eric? He's showing us a beautiful knife that's forged.
Is super thin.
Oh, the thinness of it. Yes. And I love that style. There's these knives I've seen a lot of knives, and the knives I'm making right now, I actually looked at a Neil Kamamura design, so I won't take credit for it. I freehanded drawing it, but I was looking at a knife that he made. And it's those knives like it's got that really thick hill, and it kind of drops down almost to like a K-tip, but it rounds off towards the end, right at the end, and then kind of swoops around. So it's almost like you got a little bit of a Santoku, a K-tip, and just all kind of built into one. It's a really cool design. And
yeah, these are fun. This was a pain in the butt because the starting material was 3/32 thick, and I forged it.
Yeah,
forging 3/32
that's hard.
It just tacos. So you gotta, and I forged it to that profile.
Right.
Yeah, the only thing about forging, like starting with thin stuff when you're forging, is that decarb becomes an issue really, really fast. So you got to be efficient. But the cool thing about using thinner material when you forge it is if you do an etch on it, you will get this like subtle quote unquote hamon. It's not an actual hamon, but you're seeing as you grind your bevels, you'll cut into the part of the steel that's actually hard, and at the top of your bevels you'll have the decarb steel, and so you'll end up with this cloud through the top, and so it'll have that hamon appearance without actually being a real proper hamon.
Yeah, you won't get much of that with this because it does etch, but almost not at all because it's the replacement.
That's that new
20.
Yeah,
it's it doesn't it's the one that's
it's a Pops Pro Cut.
Yeah.
So,
but what I liked about it is it really didn't have much decarb. And that's the reason why I used the Hitachi white and blue, or paper blue, paper white. is there's almost zero decarb on those steels. And so you could forge them super thin and not have to worry about the decarb layer. But you have a lot of people that want to forge a knife super thin on 80 CRV2, and it's like, no, your whole edge is decarb. And you want to grind a lot of that off. But with this, I was really surprised, and it finished. It still skated a 65 file after the tempering process. I followed their little recipes on there, and it's pretty awesome. I was really happy with it. I did something I haven't done with the handle. I actually did a kind of like that heirloom fit on it, so it's a little proud of the tang. That way I can keep all of the finish from the quenching on that area, so I didn't have to worry about it. A little bit more corrosion resistance, even though it's got a decent corrosion resistance. I wanted to leave all of that on there from the quenching and tempering process, baked in oil, and so that was just fun. The balance on it is what's wild though. It is like it is just mind-boggling, the actual balance on it. But I've liked it so far.
You've liked the Pro Cut so far.
I've got a couple of EDCs that I'm working on right now to wrap up. Those are going to be my EDC test knives for it, and we'll see how it all goes. The only reason why I haven't done this one is I'm shooting a video for it where I'm going to be cutting up stuff and doing all that. That's why it still looks pretty.
Gotcha. Hey, Mr. Daly, you've been working on some new products. You want to tell everybody about what you're working on? Let's get the word out there. I love Call Daly products.
Yeah, so one of the ones I've been working on is I make these little hardened dowel pins, and they're for when you're drilling your handle scales and stuff. When you drill a hole, I put a hardened pin right through there, so when you drill the other holes, you don't have to worry about anything shifting. And I'd always used some like micarta tube and some acetal plastic for the smaller one because I couldn't find the right size tube for the quarter or the 1/8 inch pins. And I don't know, for whatever reason, it never occurred to me to 3D print those top caps. I'd always glued on those and then took them over to the sander and then rounded over and sanded all those pieces. And doing about 20 of them would take a couple hours. By the time you cut the pieces, you chamfered the ends, you roughed up the pin, you epoxied it, let it sit 24 hours, then put it in drill. And I have like 3 grinders set up, so I boom, boom, boom down the thing. But I started 3D printing some of these little pin caps. And so I take the pin and I can push them right on there. I got the fit to be really tight, so they don't want to spin and stuff as you kind of twist them to put them in and out. And I love that I've got little grooves on the outside, so it helps them not to roll too, which is one of the things that kind of frustrating about the first one. And been working the last few days on a little holder to hold 5 of the 1/8 inch, 3/16 and 1/4 inch pins. Those are the sizes I mainly have offered. Jess Hoffman hit me up for some 3/32 and 1/16. He's really been getting into some of the traditional folders, so we'll probably have those coming as well. But yeah, this little stand made it so that when you put them in there, they can kind of just be easily moved in and out. But if it's on a little bit of a taper, so as you push them in there, it locks in, and then when you you can pick it up and move it. And you don't have to worry about them falling out. But it's really easy to just kind of turn them, and they come right out. So it should be a really good little option right next to your drill press to have some of them, and it'll help me when you order them to not curse that I have to go make more. So yeah, I had to charge quite a bit for them. They were like $5, a little over $5 a piece, just because it took so long to make them. And now the 3D printer prints off a bunch of them. I pop them off, use the arbor press to push them in. It'll be a lot more economical for people. So be offering them in some larger quantities instead of just like one or two. So I think this like 5 or 15 piece set will be a good one. So even me using 7 pins, I won't use up all of the pins. So I think it'll be good for people to help with their handle glue ups. So that was one of the major ones. One of the ones that I did that I haven't really promoted a whole bunch. I had it done before Blade Show, but didn't really promote it a lot on social media. Is my hand sanding sled. I redid the design some on that, so it's a bolt together design now. So it used to be all TIG welded aluminum. That became somewhat problematic with deburring all the parts and everything. And now it's just 2 pieces. I have to do a little bit more machining on it to recess the heads. But I'm going to probably be offering those as a kit too. So there'll be some that are fully finished. All you have to do is tighten the 4 screws that hold it together with the nuts in there. Or you should be able to save a little bit of money and deburr and everything yourself from the laser cut parts. So
how much is if you bought that whole set, do you sell it as a whole set of pins?
Oh, I'm still working out the pricing on it, but
gotcha.
It'll probably it won't be too terribly much to be able to buy the whole set of pins. The most expensive part now is just the pins themselves. So
gotcha. Well, it may be something because I have a tendency. I was using some micarta pins and such, and when you put them in and you take them out, and I've crushed a couple of them, pulling them back out when I want them to fit snug but not overly tight. And
yeah,
that would keep you from doing that.
That's the great thing about these hardened dowel pins. Even when you put them in and out of the tang, sometimes they'll get scraped up and stuff, and you can take them over to your Scotch-Brite wheel or stuff and kind of clean them up, and they get nice and smooth and stuff again. So
yeah,
I'm really excited with how this one's progressing, and probably going to be doing a video on it in the next couple days because I've been testing out, trying to pull the caps and stuff off, and do my due diligence with a bunch of the R&D at the beginning. So yeah, really, really happy with how this whole thing kind of turned out.
Well, I have some breaking news. You guys can't see this, but my guys on the show can see it. You see that knife? It's the one I've been posting. I only made a couple posts about it on social media. It's the antler crown handle, and it's kind of almost like a ABS style knife with an antler for the handle on it. The gentleman that I sent it to just received it, and his message to me was, along with the picture, and he's got a second picture here on top, this knife on top of all of his knife collections. And I've made one for him a few years ago. He says, "Chip, this is the most gorgeous knife, and it fits my hand like no other. Thank you so much for doing this for me." Isn't that what we live? Isn't that what we live for?
Yeah, it's always great. Always great to get feedback from your customers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So one of the things I was going to say, talking about Kyle doing all that stuff, Kyle's not a full-time knife maker, but I'll tell you, if you want to do full-time knife making, you got to be willing to make some of that random stuff, the tools and the extra things, because if you're just trying to survive off of the knife making money alone without being able to sell $5,000 knives, it's not easy. But whenever you make the tools and you have the other things that you can do to sell something for $45 there, $60 here, and have it be something that people it's obtainable for just makers to be able to buy, get, and use. But it's a game changer because you can actually that little bit of income that doesn't require you to make a knife.
Yeah.
And,
So
and
Kyle's a full-time knife business.
Yeah. So, the engineering
Well,
thing
just one second. You said he's not a full-time knife maker. I was just adding on to that. What you're saying, he's a knife business because he's got so many other things and going into what he does.
People think of themselves, whenever people think full-time knife maker, they think that all you're doing is just making.
You will burn out.
And, that's not what you're doing. It is he makes so many things. He has the book thing. He has the guides. He has the tools. He has
the sanding sticks.
That whenever people think full-time knife making, then they're think, oh, all I got to do is just forge every single day and make cool stuff. Like, no.
You're the acquisitions department. You're the marketing department. You're the mailing. You're the mailroom boy. You're all of the jobs, man, when you're full time.
And not only having all of the jobs, but trying to do all those jobs well.
Yeah.
Right, for sure.
It's very hard
He's
to
also
do all those jobs.
And there's not a ton of overlap. Like, what makes you a good knife maker doesn't have jack diddly crap to do about your ability to keep the books well, or
you've got a
handle your business.
You've got a multitask like you've got ADD. You just constantly that's
a good thing for me then.
Yeah, but I do want to say one thing though. Josh Ferran, you're close by. Have you been up 31? We're just around Falkville, between Falkville and Hartselle, Alabama, and seen that building on the left side of the road headed north that says Ernst Cutlery?
I have.
So that gentleman did knife sharpening, sold knives and things for years, and he's unfortunately passed away, and that building still sits there. I think it's owned by the family. So here's the thing. You and I need to see what we can do about getting into that building, setting up a maker shop, and then also partnering with our buddy Usel over at TR Maker, who I've been talking to about importing products and becoming TR Maker USA. So we've got our side gig of materials that we can offer up for resale. Eventually, I've got a good friend that owns a water jet. We'll get into cutting out blanks. So I'm ready to, work with you on that investment whenever you want to. You come to me. If you can put up with me every day debating stuff with you. So.
Oof, I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know. Might have to pay me more.
Pay you. I was wanting you to pay me. Pay me.
No,
but
okay.
Just because that building says cutlery on it, it's like, I could do something with that. Only because it says cutlery on it.
Yeah, you go inside and it's like the most not set up for knife making shop ever.
Exactly. It's just some storage building. Yeah. It's got mildewed carpet and it's some storage building with somebody's record collection.
My friends, so Cowboys Zemansky and his wife Elena, their business that they have down in South Texas, that Phoenix Knives, dude, that is like the perfect setup. The showroom.
I was there last week or this week. I was there Tuesday. What day is that? 2 days ago. Yeah, that's a heck of a good setup.
Dude,
go ahead.
Everything. So I was just gonna say, like the classes and the teaching stuff that they do, and then the freaking show.
So they have 3 setups where you have a grinder and a forge and an anvil all right there. First thing when you walk in the door, of their shop, of their retail business, and the first thing you see is forges and anvils. And I was there, on my lunch break on Tuesday, and random Tuesday, there's people walking in like, oh yeah, cool, you can make a knife right here, and it was like some kid from out of town or something. I was there on a Saturday a couple of weeks ago when we went to Trump Burger with the in-laws, and man, there was a line. They were 3 deep, just waiting on their chance to hammer some hot steel. They have a big showroom of custom knives. They have a pretty good selection of handle material and steel. They have a farrier supply business in the building. Incidentally, there's a barber shop in the building and a taco truck outside too. So I actually took them a bunch of my White Rivers because again I have inventory but no shop, right? So, yeah, I was down there this week, but they
It's a
they
great
hustle,
setup.
man. They work hard, man. They work
Yeah,
hard.
they do. Well,
They run a good business.
Elena is a freaking champ. She's a warrior when it comes to
For
running
sure,
stuff.
for
Holy.
sure. She
Hmm.
had a little sign on her desk. I'm trying to find the picture so I can remember what it said. It said chaos coordinator. That was the sign that her employees got her. It was a little sign that says
Yep.
chaos coordinator. I thought I'd make one maybe for work.
So there are a few people that have that type of setup in their life. You know, Nisha helps me with all the stuff that I do. If I didn't have her, holy crap, none of this would exist. But there is like Cowboy is a people. He gets an idea and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Cut a hole in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then go from there. I'm the same way. I've got my friend Josh Weston that does the Dragon Forge experience. It's a boom craziness. His wife is like the lawyer of the business and make sure everything happens right how it's supposed to happen so they can have all their businesses. But dude, it is just cool to have them do that. And they're actually doing a Dragon Forge style thing. You know those how they have those archways that have the blocks, the like it looks like a brick block
Oh yeah, yeah,
archways
yeah,
by the
yeah.
forgers. But yeah, they have they're going to be doing their own. They're going to be doing phoenixes instead of dragons, and so the forges will be the mouth of the phoenixes and all that. It's going to be that's going to be cool. But anyways, my point was there's a few of these places that uh, are epic and fun with knife making. And then you have showrooms. You have like the places where you go and it basically looks like a Cabela's. That they have all their knives, they have all their stuff that are really cool. But being able to have the storefront and be able to make knives, that's pretty cool because you got a 9 to 5 income, and you're able to do the other stuff.
And they've done a good job of diversifying their consignment business too. So they have a knife maker who makes earrings on the side, right? And so there's some jewelry in there. There's some they're renting out a space to a barber shop. I mean, they've done a good job of finding ways to make that work.
Is that their only business? They're both running that.
It is. It is. Now she is a retired teacher, so she has some history to her. You know, she's probably got a little bit coming in, but that is how they're making their living. They are not retired by any stretch of the word.
Yeah, well, good for them.
And
they're not even probably 55, are they, Eric? I mean, they're not.
No.
Got a ways to go yet.
Do
you think that's really old or something?
I'm saying that's really not very old at all.
Oh, good.
No, not at all. They're hustlers though. That's the same thing. It's the same thing with a lot of the people that do everything. I mean, you see how much. So a lot of people that are in the world that we live in do so many other things. Like knife making is just one part of my business. My main part of my business is, in all actuality, my name, and what I do with that. And then I'm also a knife maker, but I'm an entertainer, and I get paid to go to places and entertain and do that stuff, and also get to make knives. And I get to have my website business and my YouTube and all of that stuff. That's what helps. But I'll tell you, we've talked about this before, and I think what was it you, Jason, that said I wouldn't wish a full-time knife maker life on my worst enemy or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, people ask me if I'm full-time, and I usually say something like that, or praise the Lord, I'm not, or something. Yeah, it's a tough road.
It is because there's certain people that are just fantastic at it. Like you see make 35 knives or whatever that have 75 pins in them, and I'm like, I would never in my life want to drill that many holes in anywhere near that many knives.
Yeah, but he has air conditioning.
Well, it's not just that. It's the tediousness of that, because the way he does them, they're specific, and they're all uniform, and they're all like it's amazing. But for a lot of people, again, what they think is forged in fire. They don't think you got to make, you're in that last minute rush before Blade Show and you're hand sanding 15 knives. You're sitting there grinding all those handles and destroying your shop with dust. And there's so much of that stuff that people don't think about when it comes to being full-time maker, and understanding that you have to go to as many shows as possible. You got to go to as many events as possible to sell your stuff. You got to make sure you have pictures and everything ready for your website so that you can sell them. You got to make sure, like on my website, I got to know the weights of them, the links, all the stuff, just in case I got to ship it to freaking Belgium or something like that, and mess with customs and all that stuff. But
I have to cut you off to tell you this, though. My neighbor was like, the sky's really red. And, they say it's that Sahara dust that's blowing over here. And I was like, nah, man, my favorite tool in my shop is my cobalt blower. That's just all the dust out of my shop coming over to your house. But you're right. Keep going. I didn't want to lose that. I'm 60. I'm 60 and a half. I didn't want to lose that thought.
It's just, there's a lot that goes into it. And I see a lot of people, like Micah Dunn has been knocking out a bunch of stuff. Now he is getting ready for a show that's coming up. I think it's the All State Cutlery event or something like that.
The Natural State up in Arkansas.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
this weekend, I think, right?
And he's been prepping for that, but he's also been making sure he has the stuff on his website. And something that he does, he has a lot of his knives water jetted, so they're ready. The pinholes are set up, the profiles are set up, and then of course he grinds them all the handles are profiled, all that stuff by them, heat treated by them, all that stuff. But it's thinking through how efficient you can make the process, thinking through, just like Kyle said a minute ago, he has 3 grinders set up to round the heads on his little pins. And that's smart. You want to have that because you can have your different belt progressions, or you can have a slack belt on one of them, or you can have whatever you're going to do. And people underestimate the tools that you need to go full time. And
I even underestimated the tools when I went or started doing it full time.
Yeah.
So
a little side note, I love chasing rabbits. I saw this week a couple of variable speed KMG grinders sell for less than $1,000 on Facebook Marketplace.
Wow. Really?
To me, that speaks to exactly what we're talking about, how tenuous this business can be, where you get in and you get in over your head. Or, there's been some discussion about whether we're past the forged in fire wave, right? And on the backside of the wave, sometimes you can find stuff that people bought at the peak. So again, as excited as I was to see those grinders, and I wish I could have bought one, but I don't have a shop yet, it's also a little scary to see high quality stuff, at bargain prices.
You can look at that two ways. You can look at that two ways, though. I mean, number one, are we on the downslide of the forged in fire wave? And I think that, it's definitely there. I don't know if we'll see a season next year. They've been coming out with some stuff, and I may be totally wrong. I'm just giving you my opinion.
Yeah, they're not going to have any more.
Okay.
The only thing they're going to do is show they do have 25 episodes that they haven't aired, and there was an announcement a while back saying that those will air, but they're not filming anymore. The studio's been sold, and all the equipment out of it's been sold, and
Yep.
all of that stuff. So there's no contract for renewal.
Good. Oh, I don't mean good. I mean, yeah, okay, kind of affirms what I was saying. And I
clarity.
think, yeah, clarity. Thank you. And I think what we're going to see is that that we're going to see a downturn in interest in knife making because a lot of people were brought into that. Now that can have an effect on what people are buying. So our suppliers out there that are selling knife making stuff, whether it be supplies or tools, may suffer a little bit. But for the knife maker itself, there's many different ways that we can come up with things. And there's enough people out there spread out doing this, that, and the other, and the connections, the internet. We may see a little renaissance where the people that survived those years with such a flood of stuff, and I'll relate to something here in a second, that there's going to be a renaissance of some really good makers that come out, and the standard for buying a handmade knife may get a little bit better, and it may open up some more sales where people are just kind of seeing, hey, you make knives? Oh, that's great. Hey, and they buy it, and they don't know exactly what they're buying or what they're getting out of it because everybody's making one. And I saw a lot of that happen with the fishing lure industry because I had no problem selling 50 fishing lures in the late 90s and up to 2005, 6, 7. And then all of a sudden when Bass was purchased by ESPN and they started flooding the market with Chinese lures that were wonderful quality. And then everybody was out there making lures too, because there were some shows on about that. And a lot of the internet was wild with it, and it just diluted the market. Now it's kind of died off. I still pay attention to some of my old lure buddies, and there's a renaissance in what they're doing now. Certainly didn't have they had their own shows. They had the Bassmasters and, these shows that the ES put in on 30-minute segments, which was more than just fishing. And then all that kind of died off. So some of it kind of waned away a little bit. So maybe we will see that renaissance as a good thing. And if we do see that, you heard it here first. I predicted it.
So
some of the people that are not as serious about it too are getting out of it. So that could help some of us full-time people that are a little more established.
Yeah,
I tell you, quality is always going to be in demand.
Oh yeah, and that's why I believe that the Knife Makers Guild or other memberships are very important to set yourself not necessarily as better than, but to give yourself a credential that you've tested as
it establishes you in the industry. And how many economic downturns have there been since 1972? Heck, I don't know, a bunch. I wasn't alive the whole time. But quite a few, right? So that organization has proven itself over time as having staying power. It's not like you're joining the club based on a TV show or something that's going away in 2 years.
What I'm looking forward to is for the market of the tools that we use to chill a little bit. The price of anvil, the $1 per pound and all that stuff should start going down a little bit. And there's certain things that they did. So I'm not going to say the quality of tools went down a little bit. What I'm going to say is the focus on entry level tools went hardcore focused on that. How can we get a cheap grinder out there? How can we get a thing out there in that price range that a person who watched Forged in Fire once could commit to a $300 grinder and buy that, and it not be a very good tool. It might be better than a Harbor Freight 1x30.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Vevor is a perfect example of that, in my opinion, because Vevor is a lot like the Chinese market that flooded fishing lures back with Bassmaster. They put out some really nice things. Those fishing lures are really nice things. They put out some really nice products that kind of fit a niche in between top of the line tool and bottom of the line tool. So those.
But what they did was they created a grinder that you couldn't use hardly any attachments for, or you had to make a whole bunch of stuff for it. or
Yeah.
there was no like backing behind it. You got whatever VFD was available at that time.
Yeah.
You got whatever motors they could get their hands on for that particular batch. It wasn't motors that they had went through and uh, made sure they worked all the time. There is a huge difference between one of those and a Burr King, or like these grinders that are meant to last longer than you and your children. And it was, that type of stuff. I'm kind of excited about some of that stuff going away.
Yeah.
I learned on a 1x30 from Harbor Freight and started that, and then made my own grinder, and then bought my KMG, and now I have several grinders. But it is a process and all of that. But I'm excited about some of that, like just kitschy stuff kind of go away, like the little bitty 1x30s that tilt and all that
Yeah.
stuff. TikTok shop, and then all of that.
Don't talk to Dan. He loves his.
I wish Ameribraid or Ucell or Broadback or somebody would come out with a small 2x42 grinder that's variable speed with small wheel attachment only. Just a small machine that you can put, and it could be 2 by something else. I don't care. 2x42 is fairly inexpensive, and it was just running small wheels because you don't need a whole big grinder for that. And if it would tilt sideways and back and forth, I would pay.
You can get the Grizzly. You can get the Grizzly upgrade that has.
Oh, really?
So it's the small grinder, but you can get the. I think it's like a 1.5 horse motor upgrade that they have now.
Yeah.
On it, that you can get that is and you can get a small wheel attachment and attach it to one of the arms.
Did your buddy in Colorado? Did he put one of Ucell's small wheel attachments on his Grizzly?
Yep, he's got that, and then so does one of my friend Frenchie's Forge, OG Frenchie. He did a whole bunch of them. He's got like a 8-inch contact wheel attachment and all kinds of stuff. He's got a 2x72 now, but he did a bunch of videos on that grinder.
Is that a 110 machine?
It's a 110. Even if you get the motor upgrade, it's a 110. But yeah, there's people that make the stuff for that. But what I think is cool about Forged in Fire is the amount of people in IT and engineers that got into knife making. They are amazing knife makers now. Not good at knife making. They make some of the most precise, beautiful little knives, like the little knives that or the knives that Mark makes. Those are great knives, and the people that would have probably never got into this without Forged in Fire, that show did a lot for people like that. I'm friends with people that would have never done knife making. They were IT nerds. Their shops or their garages were just there for housing their boxes and stuff like that. And now they have anvils and presses and all that stuff, and they are great at doing mosaic Damascus and stuff like that.
Right.
So I think that's really cool. Those people are going to stay. What I kind of am going to miss is the amount of people that got into knife making that, I'll just be real, that buy my knives. That got into knife making or watched Forged in Fire or whatever, and then started watching YouTube, and now they own like 6 or 7 of my knives. The fact that there's not going to be a huge market of those people.
True. You think you'll see Blade Show? You think Forged in Fire had a big impact on Blade Show?
Yeah, kind of. People that are knife collectors are knife collectors, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Market's there. It was just nice having the extra boost of people that would buy my knives the moment they popped up on the website or whatever.
It's
And
buymyknives.com. If that's not available, I'm buying it. Don't y'all go to your buy my
Let me
knives.
check that right quick.
I'll start social media in that. Buymyknives.com.
I think Blade Show is going to be perfectly fine. I am looking forward to maybe the Pakistan Damascus knives probably going away a little bit.
You think
I don't know if they are.
No, they're too cheap.
As long as Cavender's keeps filling up their cases with them, they'll keep coming.
There's a billion of them out there that haven't sold yet. So
yeah.
True.
Hey guys, so I don't run out of time. I want to let you guys know, go to phoenixabrasives.com. They got great products, selection, and prices, and quick delivery. You can get all things from belts, discs, reels, rolls, and anything else you need to get the job done right. Check them out. Put in Templars 10 or KP10 at checkout. You get 10% off your order. Also, check out Ameribraid grinders and accessories at ameribraid.com. You got 3 packages, the Mastery Foundations and the Get Grinding. You want to see which one is right for you. I will tell you, they have a bunch of accessories also that you can add to those machines. So they are very, very versatile. And the last one I'll bring up before we end the show here in the next half hour or so is New Jersey Steel Baron. You can find them at newjerseysteelbaron.com, and they're delivering high quality steel for your blade and steel parts since 2010. So they've got steel water jet services, heat treating, and much, much more. I saw they had to shut down today because they're getting a lot of rain in New Jersey. So sun's back out tomorrow. You go to newjerseysteelbaron.com, start buying some more steel. They can use it. There you go. There you go.
Yep, just ordered. I just got a huge bar of steel from them because nobody else had the size piece that I needed. I got a 3-inch by 2 foot by 1/4 inch ADC RB2 for a project that I'm working on right now.
What was that dimension again? 3 inches by
3-inch by 12-inch or by 24 by 1/4.
That's probably a pretty heavy plate.
It is a big old chunky boy.
Are you still using that hammer that the guy told you to come pick up? How's that working for you?
Which hammer? The power hammer?
Yeah.
I use it. These little, my little
steak turners,
steak flippers, the small ones.
Yeah.
They were forged primarily.
The knuckle hair burners.
Right.
Knuckle hair burners. I love it.
Actually, don't burn your hair with them. But yes, these little guys right here. Yeah. I did a bunch of these, and all the primary forging was on the power hammer to draw it out and do what you got to do.
Is that hammer still running good for you?
Oh, yeah,
it's a good sign. It's the you've got the rocking leaf spring style, right?
Yeah. Works like a champ. I mean, it's got a 40-pound ram on it.
Yeah.
So, it is. It runs like a son of a gun, and I used it to draw out everything. And I'll tell you the reason why I actually made them this length is I took my long ones that I have that have like the little hook eyelet hole, and I was like figuring out where I actually grabbed it most of the time, and I just eliminated the part that was on the other end of my hand, and that's how I came up with that size. But I use a small grill and griddle and all. I say small 4-burner griddle and all that, but it worked out.
Yeah,
this was my first time twisting rebar, which was turning into a cool little.
Looks very decorative. Yeah, I've been thinking about getting a little Jumbo Joe Weber because I've got a Weber kettle grill I've had for 20 years and works beautifully. It's just me and the wife now, so maybe I'm just ready for a Jumbo Joe. Maybe I'll have to get one of your little steak turners.
Yeah, I grill so much that I feel like maybe they just built them different 20 years ago. I feel like I go through my grills faster than I should.
Yeah.
Do you grill?
They wear out fast.
Do you grill on propane?
Both.
Okay. Because
I have 3 back there. I have a charcoal smoker.
Yeah.
The grill and the griddle.
Propane and propane accessories.
And I was going to ask him if he was like from Texas, King of the Hill kind of guy. But I got rid of my gas grill back in 2012. Never used it. I've just kept cooked on charcoal ever since. I used to have both, but I've got a 20-year-old Weber kettle that just keep it clean. Occasionally, I'll go in and replace the grates and everything just because.
I don't cook meat on skillets anymore. So if I've got to have meat for a thing, whether it be chicken or beef or whatever, I light my grill and I cook it on the grill, and then I throw it into whatever dish we're going to do, because it takes 5 seconds to do that as opposed to having to clean a skillet or whatever afterwards.
Yeah.
I don't have to do any of that. So if we are cooking meat, that bad boy gets on a propane grill, gets cooked real quick, and thrown into the dish.
I think you're probably your heritage your heritage is a little Cro-Magnon too, because whenever we mention meat on this show, you glaze over and just start talking about meat.
Yeah, I grill. I turn my grill on at least 4 times a week.
Yes,
and that is not an exaggeration. That is what I do. But again, I hate cleaning pots that I seared meat into, whether it be, unless I'm making if you're making like chicken soup or something like that,
where you're going to glaze the bottom,
you want to cook that stuff inside.
Yeah. What if you were making an aioli sauce?
An aioli sauce? I'm not going to use that for that, but
I was just using that word because I remembered it from like 50 episodes ago. Yeah, like 50 episodes ago. And
aioli is like an infused oil.
Well, I didn't know that 50 episodes ago, and now I hear it on the Food Network and advertisements and stuff all the time. And I'm like, I lived like 58 years and never knew what an aioli sauce was. And now, because of Eric.
Fancy mayonnaise.
Yes. And speaking of fancy mayonnaise, has nothing to do with fancy mayonnaise. You need to go out and visit castingcrafts.com. See Emily, she's got some great styles and patterns out there. If you're looking for acrylic scales with wonderful patterns and designs and materials in them, she produces some of the most beautiful and striking in the world. They are one of a kind. Go out and visit her at castingcrafts.com. There you go. .com. So, Josh, we had talked a little earlier this week, and I don't know if it's a taboo subject or not, but, we hold the ABS in such high regard with regard to Master Smith and Journeyman. Those are such wonderful titles. And then we've got the what do you call it?
Where you go with this, man? Knife Makers Guild?
Apprenticeship.
Apprentice.
Oh,
An apprentice. We see some folks putting out there on their websites and stuff. I'm an apprentice member of the ABS, American Bladesmith Society, and I guess my thoughts with that. And I don't want this is not critical of that. It's really about people, being careful what they're looking for and how we advertise things. And what are y'all's thoughts on that? As far as people, you're going to say we're not going to touch that, but we can touch it, because I think for me, it's a great marketing thing to pull people into the ABS, to give them a membership, to give them a designation in that membership, and it's up to them to grow from there. But one of the things I notice that a lot of people that use that designation, we don't really ever see them really involved in anything that takes that apprenticeship and leads it to something else, which is a journeyman or this, that, and the other. Even though you will hear them talk and say, well, I'm going to get my journeyman someday.
So 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when I joined the ABS, that's why I put ABS apprentice in my forum signature back when forums were awesome.
Yes.
Right. It was to say, hey, I'm on a path towards something. That path has been long and variable, but I have not achieved what I wanted to over there yet. But I remember at the time, on one hand, it's a membership that you paid for, and it's about like a membership in any other club that you pay for. It's only worth what you put into it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But at the time, I remember distinctly being like, yeah, I want people to know I'm working on something. At least that was my motivation back then.
And I think you did set for your JS, and you're still yet to achieve that. Yep. But with that being said, It was, I think, what we came down into in that conversation is the value of such designation is that it really depends on what the person does with the designation and what they're going to do with it. And it doesn't mean you need to rush out and start working to become a JS. In sorts, you need to start aligning yourself with local guilds, local journeymen, local events and stuff so that you become active in the community. So you're setting your sights up on something and not just settling for that particular title for your website or your whatever.
I don't necessarily agree, but
no, it's fine. That's why I ask.
The after we had that conversation, the one thing that I will tell you is leverage everything that you have.
Yeah, that's right.
It's good to have that for legitimacy and stuff too. But I'll tell you this: whenever I see people that are part of like all the other guilds, I see the hammer-ins, I see the events that they hold, I see a lot of that stuff, and what you don't see, and it's not that they don't do it; it's that there are events that are associated with the ABS and things like that, and they have a lot of information and things like that that are out there because the ABS has been around for so long.
Yes.
There's a lot of curated knowledge with that. So when it boils down to it, like Josh was saying, the apprenticeship title is their membership title. They don't have a designated membership title, but it's the same thing with saying that you're a Texas Knife Maker Guild member. Whenever
That's
you have
true.
that, it
That's true.
says member. Whenever you have your little name placard that you get that says I'm a guild member. People are so proud of that. Why can't they be proud of the apprenticeship side of it too?
You know what I would like to see though, and I don't have any skin in the game other than I'm a member as well. Is that maybe to see something like putting a timeline, because I've got friends that have gone out and done their performance test, and I think that that's wonderful. And when I say timeline, I'm not talking about you've got a year or 2 years or whatever, but maybe there's some progression steps to guide you along the way to take those steps to move forward into.
So
I may be wrong. I'm just
they do have the, I would call it arbitrary timeline, where if you wait too long after your performance test, I think it's 3 years, they may correct me, then you have to do it again as if you suddenly would forget how. So there is some pressure to keep making progress. But I feel like, and I've had this discussion with them directly, I feel like it's a little bit artificial. I would like, Chip, like you're talking about, I think, to see some expectations on what does growth look like, not just can you punch a clock long enough. But
I don't know. Like, so here's the thing.
I know
though,
Josh is opposite of this. Help us out, man.
Yeah, no.
And I want to hear that because I respect what makes it a good discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. So, like, okay, you are Joe Blow. You want to go learn how to make knives. ABS has a membership that you can go to, has resources available for memberships. They hold multiple hammer-ins throughout the year.
Yes.
They have ABS. They have schools. They have whole schools dedicated to the art of knife making.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, just by being a member, you have access to all of that. You have no expectations to do anything with it. You're a member. It's a hobby. There are people that have hobbies that want to learn how to do stuff. So they can pay, what is this, like $60, something like that a year?
Yeah.
And they have access to all of this information. They have access to all of these different schools. They have access to hammer-ins. They have access to local master smiths and journeyman smiths and things like that. $60 and you get access to all of that. I don't know why that's a bad thing.
It's not.
I'm not saying I'm not implying it's a bad thing at all. Maybe we're looking at it from two different perspectives. I'm looking at it.
Well, just because like I know you're stuck on the term apprentice, and I get that, because historically apprenticeship was like a hard-earned title. But it's something that that's exactly what it is now, though, is just a title. Like I mean, to have an expectation on somebody who's paying for a service that you provide, which is these resources, the schools, the events, all of this stuff, have expectations of that. No, I don't say that. I mean, like, if you want them to change the name of or what apprentice means to the ABS, then that's a different conversation. But like, putting requirements on people who just want to be a part of something is crazy.
My thing is, for one, I wouldn't suggest they change anything. If that's their term for membership, and you do get access to all of the stuff. So I don't think that I would suggest that they do anything different, because what they do works.
You guys are making me feel like Whoopi Goldberg, by the way, but go right ahead.
My thing is, what I see, and maybe it's just because they don't advertise it enough outside of maybe the inner circles or however it may be. I know that there's a bunch of events that are attached to the ABS, that association, but what you see a lot is the Alabama, the Texas, the all the smaller guilds and all the different things. A lot of the hammer-ins and a lot of the events that get talked about, the people are going to those. What you typically don't see is a bunch of people talking about their ABS events that they went to or anything like that. And a lot of the people that you hear,
that's in Blade Symposium.
Well, a lot of the people
that's an ABS event.
Talk about the ABS. They're more focused on getting their JS stamp and their Mastersmith stuff. That is the biggest reason. I wouldn't say it's the biggest reason, and it's not for everybody. But typically, whenever people are talking about it, they want to be able to get the JS stamp and their Mastersmith stamp on their knives to be able to increase the value and things like that, and have that benchmark for quality. But to me, it is. Don't say, I am part of the ABS because I'm trying to do this with the ABS. It is, I do nothing with the ABS almost ever, and now I'm going to turn in my set so that I can get my JS stuff. And don't talk about ABS. They don't explain or do any discussions on the ABS or anything, and then boop, hey, I'm doing this so that I can get my JS set finished. I'm going to turn it in, and then they don't talk about it again a single time until they're turning in their Mastersmith stuff. And that is my big thing, because you see a lot of posts about the other guilds doing things and how they're proud of all that stuff and trying to get logos and the stuff that Chip's trying to do, or you talk to all those people. My big thing is, I don't really care what they call themselves or their names or any stuff like that. I just wish that I don't know. I don't wish anything, actually, to be fair.
Well, I will say that I hold, when I meet a JS or an MS, I hold them in high regard to their skill set.
Absolutely.
It has nothing to do with character, who they are, or anything else. It comes down to they're just one of the damn best knife makers you've ever met. And I've had, I think Josh has introduced me to a local guy that's a JS, as well as Josh down in Mobile, who's, I believe, is a JS, and is like, gosh, they are just phenomenal. Please don't think I'm knocking that. I guess I'm just thinking about that journey. But, you bring up a very good point, Josh, that doesn't, that when we're texting with each other, it doesn't convey the emotion or being able to get all of our words out, because, we're keeping it short. But, mentioning that Batson's is an ABS event and the many others that are out there, you know what? One of the things I may be overlooking is the opportunity for people to do these things, which I've done myself by attending, and you guys do by attending different events to better yourself. I guess it is just a term. It's a term of membership, and where you are and what you do with it is up to you, because we can join anything, and it is only what we want to put into it. So
I will say that I support any organization that encourages the growth of knife making in general.
Yeah, me too.
I think that the
For
Guild
sure.
does great things. I think that the ABS does great things. I do think that every single organization on this planet is flawed because it's run by humans, and humans by nature are flawed. Whether that's, like I said, anything from the government down to the homeowners association to your local knife club. That people are not perfect, therefore no organization is perfect. However, I will say that my personal experience, I would not be where I am if it wasn't for ABS and ABS members that have helped me along in my progression.
Yeah.
And I will say, like Kyle has helped me out a lot, and he's a part of the Knife Makers Guild. So there's a lot of people in the Knife Makers Guild that have helped me as well. But I will say an overwhelming majority, mainly because I focus on blacksmithing and forging and things along those lines. Most of my exposure has been to people in the ABS, and it has been, for the most part, a very positive experience. I do think that the review process in the ABS for the different knives and like the expectations that are out there, it can vary from different reviewer to reviewer on what's passable and what's not. And some people are more picky than others and things along those lines. I think that needs to be better regimented so that people can know, okay, here are these requirements. I am meeting these specific requirements, and these are what you have to meet to pass. There's so many people that get there and they don't know what to expect when they get there. There have been people told by master smiths that, yeah, that's good enough, but that master smith wasn't judging, and then they go and they take the knives and they fail. I think that needs to be addressed for people who do have the aspiration to move on in their journey. But in general, I think that both the Knife Makers Guild and the ABS are amazing tools for people who want to pursue this hobby, this passion, and this potential career path. Without any of them, I think that the knife making industry and passion would not be around at the level that we see it today. I do believe Forge and Fire helped with that, but Forge and Fire wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the people keeping the craft alive.
So yeah. I'm going to say that I agree with you 100% with everything you've just said. And I agree on all of those things. I'll come back to you in just a quick second here. So where did this come from? It had nothing to do with maker's marks or stamps or this, that, and the other. While those things came up and it transitioned into that. For the past 3 weeks, I've been had a lot of time to think and a lot of time to sit and look at sites and learn a lot about knife makers and how they're marketing things and this, that, and the other. And I had seen a minimum of 2, but guys that are putting out videos or putting out materials and stuff, claiming to be the best, have the best, and this, that, and the other, on the backs of claiming that I'm what do you call it again? Apprentice. I keep wanting to say journeyman. Apprentice with the Blade Guild. And that's the part I was just kind of like, but that really doesn't give you the credentials to really be saying what I see them posting or saying. And maybe I should share that with y'all. But then again, also, it's kind of like Ricky Gervais said sometimes. Sometimes people, there's these types of people that will walk through a community and there'll be a sign on the door that says free guitar lessons. And the guy will look at the door and go, free guitar lessons? I don't want any free guitar lessons. What in the world is this? And sometimes, and I think his punchline on that was, well, this sign's just not for you. Just move on. So maybe I've just been looking a little too deep at the signs and realizing those signs just aren't for me. Just move on and let those guys do their thing and I'll do mine. Because it doesn't come down to the ABS guild, local guilds, local groups or whatever. It comes down to, because I love and respect everyone and everything they're doing. That's why I agree with you 100%. It comes down to just kind of seeing people out there pushing things that kind of overinflating themselves, and maybe it's just not my sign. I just need to move on and let them do their thing. Eric, give you the last word. Good point, Josh.
Again, like he was saying, it is arguing semantics when it comes to the titles of the thing. my thing is, again, like I just think about a lot of different stuff within a lot of it, and I have a different viewpoint on it coming into it because I've been a member of the ABS for like I guess like 3 years now, but uh, I got into this and I've been doing it this whole entire time, and I haven't had like when it comes to people that are master smiths or journey smiths. Whenever I have conversations with them, I just talk about stuff. I haven't learned many things from them. I have learned a couple of things, but a lot of the stuff that I did, it was self-taught through trial and error the entire time. My first hammer in that I went to, uh, I was one of the demonstrators at that hammer in. And part of that was just because most of the hammer ins that I would have gone to uh, were people that uh, were learning things from me before they held their hammer ins. And part of that was just because those are people that I knew and stuff like that. But uh, for myself, I didn't have as much involvement with those makers. Now, a lot of y'all, I say a lot of y'all, like you do, Josh, and Jason, and different people, where you are in that group of people and you've gone to those places and done those things, and I think it is awesome. The stuff that I've learned from those smiths are more heat treat focused and recipes and doing the right things within uh, specific things within knife making that you really need to know, and you need somebody to be able to tell you, hey, you're screwing this up or you're doing this right. Uh, you got to have those people in your life to pick their brains and stuff like that. I just didn't have as much involvement with a lot of those people, and the people that I did, they were not journey smiths or master smiths. They were apprentices in the ABS, but they were
well, there
they
you
were
go.
in knife maker guilds, and they were contributors to those other guilds and things like but they didn't really to do with that or have the JS or the they had just been making knives for 20 years, 15 years, and were great knife makers. They just hadn't chose to do the step that I'm talking about with the uh, turn in your set of knives so you can get the JS, turn in your set of knives to be the mastersmith. And a lot of people who talk about it, you don't hear them talk about the ABS at all until they're ready to do that stuff, and then they're talking about it, and then it just disappears and vanishes into the wilderness, and then they're talking about it again, and then it vanishes into the wilderness. And the what you hear a lot of people talk about is their local smithing communities and stuff like that, which I think is really cool. The For me, I did my ABS stuff, my membership or apprenticeship or whatever you want to do it, because I wanted access to all the stuff, the things that you get access to within that. But there are a lot of people who have that apprenticeship that have never even made a knife. They want to be able to read and all that stuff. They might make a knife in the future, but they paid their membership fee just to be a part of it, and never planning on making a knife, but they might, and they want to be able to read the info on it because it's great to have the knowledge. Because there's people that that nerd out about all kinds of stuff. I'm not a wizard, but I've read a lot of stuff about wizards.
Your steak turners look like wands. So.
You know what
I mean, you have a beard.
Yeah, you have a beard.
And a
you've got the hair. And you've also make wands. So
it's like it's looking at it differently because I have access now. Of course, I'm saying that as a person leading up to this. Over the last year, I've had a lot of access to journey smiths and master smiths, and I've hung out with a lot of them. I've talked with a lot of them, spent hours upon hours upon hours with those guys. The knowledge that you get from those guys, you you can never underestimate it. It is like you just sit there and you talk with them, and you just walk away from that conversation, and you're like, "Whew, oh man, I can't wait to try this, that, and this." It's awesome.
I'll put it this way: I don't know if I will ever have the talent to become a JS or a MS, but I will.
Sure, you can.
Well, I mean, a lot of it it's internal skill too, and be able to. Not everybody can be an engineer. Not everybody can be a doctor or a painter.
Do it because there's a blueprint for it.
Yeah, but here's my point.
There is a blueprint for that specific. Now, if you had to make some crazy artistic knife that had X amount of artistic flair, that's way harder.
Okay, there still is a connect between your mind, your hands, and the machines.
You do.
But here's what I'm trying to say, though. This is the point I'm wanting to make. The point is, I don't know if I'll ever have the skill set to achieve what so many great people have done, but I will be happily paying my dues in August, which is my renewal date for the ABS, because I certainly support and love the organization.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
My thing was just around, as I explained to you, some people promoting certain things, and I was just wondering about that. So it's good discussion.
I would love to be able to pivot to a related topic. That's sort of been my jam tonight. Is hey, let's chase this rabbit instead.
Hey, if you can run around screaming for people to succeed Texas from the union,
I can do that. But no, really, where I'm going is this. We are a representative group here in some ways, and we can point out holes in every organization. Right? This one does this poorly. This one does that poorly. We're all members anyway, right? But let put a spin on it. What does the industry need right now that no organization offers? If there was a way to say, oh man, if we just had this other thing that these guys weren't doing, right? So that's kind of what that's what keeps me up at night sometimes. Is that approach to things. Like, yeah, but what's missing? What can we do better? What can we do different? You guys have any thoughts on that?
My big thing is converting a lot of these guys' knowledge into video or audio media, because the stuff that's in knowledge in books, on forums, and stuff like that from these makers that have been doing this for a long time, and the journeysmiths and mastersmiths that have been doing it for ever, that even learned from some of the books, having that stuff in audio or video format would be awesome for people who cannot stand reading 500-page books.
For sure.
And
does ABS have a video library? I thought they did, don't they?
Yes and no. They've got a
very large one.
Do what?
The very large one. Yeah.
And as a member, you've got access to that, right, Josh?
Yeah. And like you can purchase the DVDs and things along those lines, but yeah, they've got a whole if anything from just getting into it all the way up to like fit and finish and all of that good stuff. Like it can all be accessed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but see, again, my thing is, well, no, because some of it's not going to be behind a paywall. My thing is for that stuff to be not behind a paywall. I don't charge anybody anything to watch me do the stuff that I do purposely, because I want everyone to have access to it. Now, the difference is that does not make for a fantastic business model. And
I was going to say, because the ABS and the Knife Makers Guild are both technically businesses, right? I mean, they like to be a member of both, you have to pay. To put on events, you have to get money from somewhere to put on events.
Absolutely.
So like I get it, but like also you're not paying like crazy amounts of money for these videos. Like really, they're fairly affordable.
Compared to what you pay for Netflix. Yeah, it's not near as
or
much.
a hands-on lesson. Yeah, for the price of one weekend lesson, you could buy the whole stack of videos.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like you take one in-person class, you can buy the entire
Yep.
video collection on the ABS thing like twice over.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
What do you
Guys,
think, Josh? Come back to my question. We got Eric's answer. What do you think, Josh? I know you've thought about this.
Well, so another thing though, like, you know, I'll defend the ABS just because of the fact that, like, you know, that's been my primary exposure that I've had. But at the same time too, I am just a quote unquote apprentice, just a member of the ABS. I don't have my JS. I don't have, you know, I would love to at one point pursue that, but I haven't. You know, so, you know, there's nothing stopping me that the organization, either the Knife Makers Guild or the ABS, there's nothing there specifically stopping me from furthering my membership, or making the knives or this, that, and the other thing. I think the biggest thing for me, I mean, like, you know, if you go to, like, and I'll pick on the ABS here, if you go to their website, they have kind of like a general outline of what you need to do for furthering yourself to the JS or the MS level. But unless you, they do leave that up to you, like hounding an MS or a JS or somebody, and like just kind of drilling in like what passes, what doesn't pass, what should I look out for, because they don't tell you. You know, I think if there's going to be a progression of levels to get to a different point, the requirements should be crystal clear. I know there will always be, when something is being judged, you cannot avoid the level of
There's always some subjectivity.
Yes. You can't avoid subjectivity. That's going to happen at every level, but at the same time, I mean, like, there should be able to say, like, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good. I mean, like, there's things like that, you know, that unless you talk to somebody who failed this, you don't realize that they do this. But, like, you know, you can get a business card, put your knife flat, poke a hole in the business card, turn it over, lay it flat, poke another hole. If it doesn't go back through the hole, then it's not symmetrical. Like, that's a test that gets done, but that's not outlined anywhere on the ABS thing, or like, hey, here's something to look out for. You know, just little things like that. Like, hey, here's how you can check, you know, is the symmetry good? Is this good? Is that good? All of that good stuff. I do believe that no matter what you do, you know, like, people will always go for stolen valor. You know, if it's something where, like, oh, well, I'm going to ride on the tails of the ABS and call myself an ABS apprentice and make me look like I'm doing bigger things than I am. That's going to happen, regardless of whatever you call it. Even if it was just a membership, if the ABS exploded, or even the Knife Maker Guild exploded, you know, somebody who's like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to be making my knives soon, so I can be a probationary member, and this, that, and the other thing. Like they'll try to ride on the coattails of success, right? Because they want to project themselves as being successful. I say that I'm a member just because I'm a member. I don't use that to add any sort of value or rarity to my knives. You know, I would prefer that my knives speak for themselves. If you like them, fantastic. If you don't, you know, who knows? Maybe my next one will be better. But as far as, like, you know, answering your question specifically, like, I'll be honest, I've not been very involved with either. I mean, I've gone to ABS events. I've talked to ABS members. I've talked to Knife Guild members. I've taken my knives to, you know, I mean, like, Eric, you talk about the exposure to the different people. Like, literally the only reason I have that exposure is because I've walked up to them at an event that I've gone to and just been like, hey, please, like I'm doing this to learn. I'm doing this to get better. Please tell me what I can do better. And like, just forging techniques, things, how to approach things, that stuff's been different, you know. That's what's really made the difference for me. So, yeah, I mean, like, as far as like what would draw me to one or the other, or continue to push myself into furthering myself in each organization, it's me, man. I'm the only thing holding me back.
See, and
Good answer.
what you said there, going to makers and stuff like that. Did you go to those makers because they were part of the ABS, or did you go to those because those were the people you looked up to?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. So they're, there's absolutely. So like, obviously you have people whose styles you like, right? Like you make knives that are very similar to this person, and you're gonna go to that person and be like, what do you think? What can I do better? Things along those lines. But then, like, for example, like I don't make knives in the style of Kyle Daly. My kitchen knives are very different than his, but he makes fantastic kitchen knives. And so I take him a kitchen knife pretty much every year at Blade Show, and I'm like, hey, man, what can I do better? And, I try to take what everybody tells me and go from there. But like, also, when it comes down to just like general, like, eye for design, eye for fit and finish, things along those lines. I mean, like, you can make a beautiful knife, but like, your ratios may be off. Like, one feature might be wider than it needs to be. It's just like the eye thing. It's talking to people, seeing what some people like versus what you like. And then I believe that really helps you, develop your own style for sure. But yeah, like, oh, he's a mastersmith, or somebody will tell me, I may not know them from anybody. And they may not be a mastersmith, and they'll be like, hey, go talk to this guy, 'cause, I think he could help you with something. And I've gotten great advice from people who don't affiliate themselves with either organization. I've got great advice from Knife Guild members, and I've got great advice from ABS members.
Yeah, and what I was saying
I think that's
was not
the big thing.
Yeah, was not to say not to go to one or the other, but like for me, the people was that I look up to, whether they are part of that, how be. But I agree with a lot of what you said. A lot of the things that I need to work.
Yeah,
I need to work on.
Dude, that's how it is, man. That's a great thing about this hobby, is that there's always like things to pursue, rabbits to chase, as Jason says. And like, even though like everybody makes their own knives, everybody can help each other. And it's most of the industry is very helpful in that aspect.
And that's the cool thing about this.
About 80.
I mean, like when you go bowling, let's say we all went bowling, I would talk some trash about your technique. I totally would. And I'm not a good bowler either, and you should be able to talk trash about how terrible my score is. And but at the end of the day, we're competing against the pins, right? That there is an objective standard, and our goal is to meet that. So this is a little like that to me, where the problem with my knives is me. It's not some organization. It's not somebody talking. It's not somebody talking trash about my technique. It's not that the guy on the lane next to me had too much to drink. No, it's just I didn't knock the pins down, or I did, right? It's always, again, every organization is there to make you better. Don't get me wrong. But
that's a quote. That's a good
the
quote.
barrier to myself.
I'm gonna use that. 100%. I'm gonna use that. And Josh, I don't know if you heard that or not. We both said 100% at the same time. So, guys, you know what? It's been a good discussion. I've had my eyes open a little bit. I've certainly loved all of your responses, and it certainly got the blood pressure up on the show a little bit. And hey, that's what we like to do occasionally. It was a wonderful discussion. I do want to encourage you guys to go to Maritime Knife Supply. They're in Canada, and they also ship internationally. They have great deals on products and services. So go out and check them out at maritimeknifesupply.com. And if you're looking for a forge or a press, you need to go out and check out Clark Iron Forge at clarkironforge.com. He's got some nice forges. He's also got some of the industry leading prices on 17, 25, and 40 ton press. If you got questions, comments, product reviews, show guest ideas, subscribe or email us at theknivestemplars.com or knivestemplars@yahoo.com, or DM us on Facebook and our Knives Templars podcast group. You can visit us at theknivestemplars.com to always stay up to date. We are sponsored by New Jersey Steel Baron. We are sponsored by the Knife Makers Guild. We'll say the ABS tonight as well because we certainly support them. TR Maker, Clark Iron Forge, Casting Crafts, Ameribraid, Pops Knife Supplies, Even Heat, Maritime Knife Supply, Phoenix Abrasives, with Templars 10 for 10% off your next order. You can hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Anchor, Amazon, YouTube Video, and CastBox. And always visit us at theknivestemplars.com. And this is the part where we say, oinky, oinky, oinky. I guess I'm just oinky.
Fellas.
There
Oink,
you go.
oink, oink.
There you go. Well, the eagle's supposed to land here in a second.
We'll just do our own sound effects.
Yeah. Even the eagle's upset
Brought
tonight.
to you by PORKHouse Productions.
Hey, she went too fast.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Brought to you by PORKHouse Productions. Oinky, oinky, oinky.
And I had the mission command guy and the lady with PORKHouse arguing with each other, trying to go first tonight. What can I say? What can I say? Guys.
Buttons are hard.
No worse.
You're only as good as what you put into it, right?
I'm not going to throw any shade because I know what it takes to put all that stuff together.
I was pushing the button. I was pushing and pushing and pushing, and it wouldn't play. So I pushed the PORKHouse when it played. Then I came back and it played the Eagle has landed. So
I throw shade only because I have no idea.
No, you're fine. And Josh,
make Josh edit a few episodes.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Guys, I love that last discussion, and I love that we had it verbally with each other rather than just, what the listeners don't know. I'll throw out something during the week and sometimes others do as well. But typically, we all have opinions, and that's the neat thing in this world where we can all have opinions and also be open to listening to others' opinions, and so that we have a good understanding, and it can sway our views as well, because it certainly I realize that probably the crux of my question really stemmed from what I was seeing people doing, and not just the title itself. So anyway, thank you. This is like therapy. You guys got it out of my head.
I'll tell you, one of my biggest pet peeves for the ABS, and I've always had a little pet peeve for them, is, and it's all stylistic thing. It's just a stylistic thing. Me personally, I don't like making JS style knives.
Gotcha.
I've never made one.
And the fact that is it's the focus on that. I understand what the focus actually is how can you sand it? How can you make it geometrically perfect? The geometry, the evenness, and those knives lend themselves to that type of curriculum.
If you do it wrong, it'll show up.
You're going to do it correct. But for me personally, I'm like, that is, I do not enjoy making that style of knife, so I have no drive to want to do that until I want to get my JS stamp. And I'm going to make those knives not because I want to make them, but because I want the end result of the stamp. Yeah. Not because I want to be great at making those knives, because I'm going to make them moving forward. I'm going to make those knives, and then those knives are going to get sold. And disappear.
I agree with you on that, because I don't make JS style knives. I don't make that, I mean, the closest thing I get to that level of work is when I do like a full Damascus, where I have to grind everything and sand it and all of that good stuff. But in general, probably a good 80% of the knives I make are brute to forge. I take a great pride in how I forge those knives, and I think that personally, I think that should be. I mean, for the bladesmithing society, I think there should be an acceptance of a brute to forge knife in something along those lines. But like your finished work needs to be on a JS level, and I think, and the argument for that, and I understand and respect it, is that it's like, yes, but you can take something and you show that, like, if you've got your JS stamp, you can make a knife to that level of quality, and I understand that. But at the same time, like smithing in general, if you do brute to forge knives, I think at least one of your knives should be allowed to be in that manner.
I do want to apprentice. I do want to apprentice under Josh still, because I am very jealous of the style knives he's made. He knows that every time he makes one, I drool over it.
The thing is, you can forge an oval and then stalker move it into a buoy and turn it in as a JS knife. You don't technically have to forge it to that. And then it does need to be a forged knife. Then you stalker move it completely.
But you could also just completely do a stock removal from a bar to the same standards, and there's nobody there that could tell the difference.
Not one turning in pictures with it at all or anything like that. And so that is my thing, because whenever I take and I forge a knife to within a 16th of an inch of what it's going to be, and I grind almost nothing away on the bevels and all that stuff just to get through a decarb layer, and that knife is like friggin' money, and it took a hammer and an anvil to get it to that point. Or I took a piece of steel that was 3/8 of an inch thick, and I made it 3/16 of an inch thick by hand, and I made that 3/16 of an inch all the way down, and then did distal tapers and did all that stuff and kept everything centered, versus putting it on jigs and getting all that bad boy all done, and then have a really good hand sand on it. That's always been kind of like my thing. And I'm not saying that the dudes that do mastersmith work, that do some of the craziest stuff that I've ever seen, that have the most beautiful twists that are like perfectly perfect. And you can tell that their blades were forged to that profile because their bars run the full length of the spine, and the edge and the mosaics like perfect and all that stuff. Those guys, absolutely epic, super awesome. Like a Quisenberry, stuff like that. The most mind-blowingly beautiful knives. It's just not my style, and it really never has been. I think those are beautiful.
Otis here got me started wanting to make knives like his, and I didn't realize that he was making knives that kind of lended to that style. And I've actually loved making that style knife. But honestly, I have to back off of them sometimes because there's just a lot of work, and I'm certainly not at any JS or MS level. I love that style of knife, but there's just a ton of work that goes into them. So
there is a lot of work.
There is. Absolutely.
And but the same can be said for, that beautiful dagger you made as well, or the sword that you made, or just anything, any of you make. I mean, some of the things we make, they're just a lot of work, and then you kind of have to back off and make a few things just to give yourself a little bit of a break, give your mind some rest. So,
do those JS knives have to be hidden tang guarded with a? Or can you do like kitchen knives?
So they all have to have a bolster or a guard. And if you show up with a bunch of pinned bolsters, they probably will not like that. They want to see integral. You can't. I think they've changed it recently where you can't do all integrals either. Yeah, there are some requirements.
Yeah, I've heard about
push
that.
It towards.
I can't speak.
Yeah, there are some requirements that push it towards that style.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
You can go outside that a little, but
one of the most unique JS sets that I've seen pass is Tuna's. tuna set that he did for his JS that passed, that set was probably one of the most unique sets of JS knives that I've seen because they looked like tuna's knives, but they were in that JS style, and I was like, okay, good job, tuna. That's cool. You did something that I haven't really seen because a lot of the times when you see JS knives, you put them all side by side, and you're like, well, I don't even know who maker or what maker made any of these damn knives other than the maker's marks that are on them. But
have y'all seen Henning Wilkinson's Journeyman Smith knives?
Been a while.
Set? It was absolutely mind blowing. Like, it was a Master Smith set, just not in Damascus, and it was some of the most insane work that I've seen on a JS set. There's been a lot of them though. But you do have to have like different. Like you can't do all chef's knives or something like that. Because I asked about that actually this time. Was like, could I do like a paring knife and a chef's knife and blah blah blah? And they're like, yes, but not really.
Yeah,
and so
exactly.
again, that's back to my biggest complaint is that it's like, tell me what I can and can't do, and I will work within those limitations.
That's when the politics comes in too, because
you shouldn't have to make knives that you don't make to. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the way I feel.
I agree.
And some of the politics run into play because some of the people that are going to judge them from one person to the next will have different things that they are looking for that are specific kind of to them. So like, what year was it? It was maybe 4 years ago at Atlanta, I think. There was like 40 people going for the JS and like 3.
Yeah.
It was huge that didn't pass, and it was like because that particular day or whatever they decided to be like ultra crazy picky. And now some of those people have passed since then, but it was like, and a lot of them they were just baffled as to why they didn't make it. And then you had one where there was like 40 or so of them and like 37 of them passed.
Yeah.
Jason can probably attest to this. Like, it's not, it might not even be that one's more picky than the other, but how many knives have you taken that you thought were flawless at your shop, Jason, and you got under the lights at Blade Show and you're like, how the hell did I miss that?
So you guys have watched me all a couple of years now, and you know that I wear reading glasses. I did not achieve my Journeyman Smith on the first time because I needed glasses and didn't know it. Period. I looked at those knives and they were perfect, and my eyes were lying to me. Right? So all the way back to
somebody hand you the readers and go look at this real quick.
Sorta. It's like, I can't see those scratches, and they're like, really? You can't see those? Like, no, I can't. Oh, dang! Yeah. So all the way back. Let's wrap this up. We can rant on about this.
Yeah, I was going to say we'll keep going. So guys,
let's close out with that story, which the moral is the same. The problem with my knives is me. 100%. The one I'm competing against is the knife. Not some club, any club.
Yeah, so guys, you're only competing against yourself.
Just want to make a better one.
Yep.
We'll see you on the next episode of the Knives Templars, guys. Y'all be good. See you again in 2 weeks.
Oinky.
On a hill so far away, he bore the weight, nails and thorns, yet no hate. He hung in silence, pain so wide. For every sin he bled and died. Through darkest skies his light still shone. He faced the cross to bring us home. It It should have been me, but he took my place. A gift of mercy, endless grace. Oh, thank you, Lord, for that rugged tree, where chains were broken and souls set free. You gave it all, no holding back, to guide us home when we lose track. I lift my hands, my heart, my voice in saving grace. I now rejoice. Now every scar tells of his name, a story etched in love, not shame. Forgiven hearts now rise and sing. He conquered death, he is the King. With grateful tears I walk this road, my burden's lighter with each load. Faith like fire, it won't grow cold. The greatest truth my soul will hold. Oh, thank you, Lord, for that rugged tree, where chains were broken and souls set free. You gave it all, no holding back, to guide us home when we lose track. I lift my hands, my heart, my voice in saving grace. I now rejoice. Oh, thank you, Lord, for that rugged tree, where chains were broken and souls set free. Your sacrifice, my soul's delight. I'll praise your name both day and night. I lift my hands, my heart, my voice in saving grace. I now rejoice. Oh, he died for me, so I could live